Hello, happy Thursday. Today we're looking at Magicland Dizzy 4 on the Amstrad CPC. So this is a CPC 464 or 6128 version of Dizzy 4. So let's have a look at this. So we've got our title screen here. We've got some nice AY music from the Yamaha chip, and we've got Dizzy 4. It seems to be R-Thread and WMCMXC, which is 1990, sorry. So I think this was released around about 1990. Space or fire to start, so you can have a choice between space or the fire button on joystick. So we've got Evil Zack there sending his lightning bolt there. We've got the crew here. We've got Dizzy, there he is. Daisy, there's his girlfriend or his partner, whatever your wife, I don't even know actually. Dylan down there, all the members of the family. Grand Dizzy, Denzel, he was like the cool dude with his shades and his Walkman, wasn't he? Dozy and Dora. So yeah, we get a nice little screen there. Now you will notice probably if you use the Spectrum games, this has got a lack of blue in the palette. That's quite apparent on Amstrad CPC versions of Dizzy. I think it might be something to do with limitation of screen mode it runs in. But let's just start the game. So let's start the game here. Right. So we start at Weird Henge. Now it'd be interesting to see how the Amstrad CPC version compares to the Spectrum version, because the Spectrum version could utilise both the AY chip and the Spectrum original beeper for music and sound effects simultaneously. So I don't know if the Amstrad CPC version is going to have that feature. Let's find out anyway. I do believe actually the Oliver twins actually programmed these games on the CPC, so even though the Spectrum versions felt a bit more enhanced, I think that was actually programmed on the CPC itself. But yeah, let's look into that. I don't even really know the ins and outs of that. The Oliver twins obviously know the ins and outs of that, so if you're watching the Oliver twins, let me know. It does seem like the CPC version of this game isn't quite as polished or as fine as the Spectrum version, because as I was mentioning, there's no sound effects, but they use on the Spectrum version, so I think they was using a combination of both the beeper and the AY sound chip to sort of produce some simultaneous sound notes, which is quite a clever way of doing things actually, because obviously if you run the game in 48k mode, you've still got them beeper sounds. So yeah, this is Magicland. Anyway, we're talking about the Amstrad CPC version today. This is the Amstrad CPC version. Oh, I keep doing that. Right, let's try that again. I do apologise. So let's try that again. So let's go all the way to the left again. So we have to pick up the key, of course. Let's try and concentrate more on the Amstrad CPC version. Right, okay, so this is Dizzy. Dizzy was a very popular egg, literally an egg, that rolled about a lot. You either love or hate Dizzy. Some people didn't like him. He was a bit notorious for a Marmite sort of character. You either loved him or you hated him. I loved him. I thought he was a great character, and I thought it was a great premise for a game, and it was Codemasters' genius, or more specifically the Oliver twins' genius, that made him a reality. And back in the day, it was outstanding budget gaming, to be honest. Some of these quests were massive. They had like massive amounts of screens, and for a budget £2.99, £3.99 game, you really got your value for money with these Dizzy games. Even though I keep falling into the fucking water on this bit. I forgot how you get past this bit. I think it's more to do with, I'm going to do it this time actually, I think it's more to do with, because I'm using a modern controller on the emulator, it's just a bit too sensitive. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to walk all the way over there again. One thing to notice about this game as well, I forgot to mention on the video, is this is the first Dizzy adventure where you have to rescue multiple characters. In Dizzy 3, the one prior to this, it was only Daisy you was rescuing, your girlfriend or wife or whoever she was. On this one, you're rescuing multiple characters. Right, let's proceed on with our game here. I have noticed a slight bit of slowdown with the CPC version as well. Like the music sort of slows down in places which is not present on the Spectrum 1 to 8 version. Right, anyway, let's try and walk across this. I think you just gotta literally walk across it. Oh, we nearly made it then. I have noticed that also the music restarts on the CPC. I don't think that was present on the Spectrum either. Right. We're across. Oh fuck, we're across, but I didn't pick up that key, did I? For fuck's sake. So we finally got past it. I forgot to pick up the key, didn't I? Which is all the way back down this way. So let's do that here. Might actually get into that building in a minute. The key's there. Look, I didn't even pick it up, did I? I just ran for it. Let's pick it up. So now, as you can see, you are carrying a backdoor key. So yeah, that's the key in the inventory. So you got to think about these things with Dizzy games, because if you don't, and these are pretty big adventures. If you forget to pick up something along your route, you're gonna have to backtrack, and I mean a long way sometimes, especially depending on where you are in the adventure. Anyway, let's try and do this. Right, now jump at this point. I think it gets you across. Yes, we got there. Right, let's use our backdoor key. The door quick slowly opens. Look at that, we're in. See, one thing you have to know about Dizzy games, like I said earlier, it's a Marmite thing. You either love it or you hate it. You need to really think logically. They're for people with intelligence, basically, with a good IQ level, because that pipe, or whatever it is, the handle, might not be useful now, but about 300 screens to the left it might be useful. So you just, and if you've never played the game before, of course you don't know what to expect in the future. So yeah, like I said, love it or hate it, Dizzy games, they was literally designed for people to sort of like longevity, like people to figure it out and like spend hours on the same game. It wasn't about the game where you just play it for a few minutes and then switch it off and play another game. It was designed for long-term play. Some people, including myself, actually left the ZX Spectrum. I know this isn't the ZX Spectrum we're playing now, but the ZX Spectrum on for hours on end just because you couldn't save the progress. So the poor Spectrum was like literally left on for 24 hours straight just because you could not save the progress on these games. And that's a valid point actually. You cannot save the progress on these games. You can with modern emulators, of course. You can use save states, etc. But back in the day you wouldn't have been able to save the progress. You had to complete the game in one setting. If you didn't want to complete the game, that's fair enough, but there was no load, no save, no save progress on any of these games. Anyway, so that's Magicland Dizzy on the Amstrad CPC. What a fantastic game. I'm going to give that one 9 out of 10. So obviously the issues when I mentioned save progress and stuff doesn't apply to the features of the game. It just applies to how one would feel about it now. So I'd like to thank you for watching. Have a pleasant evening, and let me know if you've got any more Amstrad CPC games before the month's out. Not sure what I'm doing next month. I might mess it up a bit, do something different, but let's have a look at the next game for tomorrow. Let me know in the comments, or let me know at paulisbestforuk@gmail.com. Email me directly if you want, if you've got any game suggestions, and I'll see you in the next video. So thank you for watching, have a pleasant evening, and goodbye.